Hi everyone, welcome to today's webinar on the transformation of marketing through digital. Today we are going to talk about various aspects of the transformation or disruption of marketing that is brought about by digital, specifically in terms of the changing consumer behavior towards media consumption, also the changing consumer journey or the buying journey as we call it. And along the way, we should also ponder upon how the marketers can learn to reallocate their media budgets or advertising budgets through the journey of the consumers. We are not going to stop with this webinar. We have planned another webinar next week, which is around the transformation of B2B marketing. So, all of you who are passionate about B2B marketing, who are passionate about digital, and who are passionate about marketing as such, I would urge you to watch both the webinars. Both of them are going to be exciting. And as you know, if you would have seen our earlier webinars or the Digital DNA series, our videos are generally well researched and have a slight educative tint to it. So I'm sure you like it, but we don't want to make it very hefty, very, something that's going to be very heavy in the sense should not be very boring. Also, one more point that I wanted to bring to your attention is when I was making this webinar, some of our clients and some of my acquaintances asked me to include certain slides around the digital snapshot, the digital paradigm that we are living in today, that we witness today in terms of the trends and the spends, the digital economy as such. So in terms of number of users of internet in India, we have about 700 million uh, odd people who are using internet in India, and that makes us the world's second largest internet country in the world. We are also the world's largest social media users or social platform users. So that makes India a very exciting place, an opportune place to be in. Uh, Going further, we can see another interesting aspect, in which is about how the media consumption is moving. And this is a global statistic. This is last year's data, where we see that the media consumption globally on connected devices like mobile and desktops and laptops, that has taken over content consumption through television. What that means essentially is that people prefer to watch media uh, or consume media on online devices as compared to static devices like television. It doesn't mean that the content is different. The content may be same in both the platforms, but the preferred choice of device or platform is rather online, right? Taking this forward, we can see the same data is getting replicated in India as well. This is a slightly old data, but nevertheless, the trend is very clear. And what we see here is that in India, people who consume entertainment content, uh, the time spent on mobile internet consuming entertainment content is 7 times that of television. That's a huge statement from an Indian perspective. It clearly defines the way people are going to consume content in future and what's the preferred way of consumption. We have seen a global perspective and we have seen the Indian perspective also. And as they say that the money follows the eyeballs. So if people are swaying in the favor of digital platforms, then no wonder you can see the slide here that digital media's share is increasing. In 2020 financial year, we are expecting this to be about 27%. And after COVID, I think this would surpass 30%. That's my personal view. It should surpass more than 30% of the total advertising pie in India, right? A few years back, the share was about 15 odd percent of the total advertising pie. Today it's 27%. Post COVID, it would be beyond 30%. So that's essentially the power of advertising, power of digital rather, that we are looking at. But coming back to our topic, the focus area is, where do we see this transformation happening? We can see there is a landscape change uh, around us, but does it also imply marketing transformation? Of course, yes. And how is this? How is this? Uh, exhibiting itself? And what experts see today, they are seeing two major changes uh, on the marketing floor, and they are: number one, there is a clear attention fragmentation. Okay, and number two, we are seeing a change in the consumer journey. We are going to take each of these points one by one, describe it in detail, and then crunch it and then go forward. So let's go forward and let's understand the content clutter and attention fragmentation. Okay. Before we understand that, let's look at another interesting slide. And this slide essentially creates a base or a foundation for why this attention fragmentation is happening, or what is attention fragmentation in the first place. Now, the world's largest library is the Library of Congress in USA. It has about 50 million set of books within it. It is housed across 3 or 4 buildings in US, and they have about 3,000 people managing this entire infrastructure. And I'm not counting the recordings and audiovisual stuff there, but the point is that Facebook alone produces 400 times the data of Library of Congress on a daily level, on a daily basis, right? And if you go about talking about what the internet produces, so internet would produce at least 400 times more data than Facebook produces on a daily basis. And if you look at all the data and do a bit of calculation in terms of the number of people available on internet in this planet and the kind of content that we have, we can calculate that each person gets exposed to about 3,000 pieces of content on a daily basis, only online. Leave alone print, leave alone television and other forms of, or other sources of media, 3,000 pieces of content online only. And that's something which is creating a concern for marketers, because what has happened is that because of this mushrooming of content, plethora of content that internet produces today, our attention span is limited, right? We have 24 hours in a day, and we have so much content to consume, so many platforms. So basically what's happening is that our attention per unit content is decreasing, because the content is increasing and attention is static. So attention per unit content, of course, is decreasing. That's a major concern for marketers. Now, to understand this better, think about 15 years back. How would you consume your movies? How did you get your movies? You would pay for your movies, right? You would pay for your news. You would pay for almost every bit of content that you would want to consume. Heck, you would even pay for your music. Remember, you would buy your CDs, etc., to play in your car or in your Sirius system in your homes. You would pay for that music, right? Content was less. Attention span was still more than the content available. So there was a premium to content. We paid premium for the content. Today, our attention span is limited. Content is voluminous, and hence the content's value has also decreased. So, which is why your movies are free, your music is free. Most of the content that you watch today is free, right? You do pay premium for content, but that content is limited. And I think that's a beautiful discussion that we can do in one of our upcoming webinars about why people pay for content or why people do not pay for content. Right? So that's a topic for another day, but I'm sure you are understanding where we are going with this. The content access has become cheaper. Content creation has become cheaper. Hence, there is a lot of content here. And what that means is that our attention span is limited. So attention span per content unit or per platform is limited. We are fragmented in terms of attention focus. So we will spend some time on YouTube, some time on Facebook, then on LinkedIn, then on a blog, then on some website, back to Twitter, and so on. So advertisers have to do the hard work of now, trying to find people with enough attention span to target them and to convince them about their products and services, and to convince them to take an action. So this entire thing now cannot be done on one platform. Advertisers have to engage audiences across multiple platforms, multiple content pieces, and that's a challenge that we are looking at. Okay, so going forward from here, let me go forward. What has essentially become of it is that the cost of attention has become high because your attention is limited and content opportunities or revenues are huge. Advertisers are bidding for your attention. And when advertisers are bidding for attention, the cost of your attention goes high, which is a major challenge that advertisers are facing, that it's becoming expensive to really captivate users' attention. To add to this misery, today with advent of social platforms and digital technologies, users now trust content from their peer network or from their trust network more than they trust the brand advertising or brand messaging. So advertisers or brand marketers have to now ponder on two things. One, it's expensive to captivate the attention. And second, their content is anyways not trustworthy. So they have to work on creating trust, and they have to find ways and means to captivate attention of the users, right? And some advertisers or some marketers say that, okay, people's attention is spread across platforms, then let us advertise across platforms. We will increase our advertising budgets. We will, instead of spending monies on 5 platforms, we'll spend it on 20 platforms. That is one way. Some advertisers say that no, we will have large format ads. So we used to do 30-second ads. Now we will do 60-second ads or 1-minute ads. We will do full page ads now. Some people say that we are going to increase the frequency. So earlier we used to only advertise in prime time. Now we're going to advertise throughout the day. Now all these things are not going to work. Not going to work because by advertising more, by creating more content, which is transactional in nature, advertisers and brands are going to add to the clutter. There is already a lot of clutter, right? A lot of useful as well as non-useful content present in the ecosystem, and you are adding to that, right? You are creating clutter for yourself, which means the audience attention is going to fragment even more because of your content. And hence advertising will become, or reaching out to consumers will become, even more expensive. So more is not going to work. We have to find out other ways. Before we do that, let's also understand the changing consumer journey, right? And which is important also because we are going to take this up in detail in our next webinar, the B2B transformation of marketing. Now this journey, all of you are well aware of. We all have seen this linear journey where a consumer starts from an awareness stage where the consumer marketers believe that consumer is aware about all the brands that are available, and from there the consumer goes to the middle of the funnel where the number of brand considered narrows down, because now the consumer is more intelligent in the middle of the funnel. It has perhaps visited an event or an exhibition, talk to people. So on a consideration level, the number of brands that the consumer is now considering is much less than what he was aware of in the beginning, and leading to the absolute fag end of the funnel where the consumer says, okay, I'm going to buy this brand based on the influence of the dealer, or based on the point of purchase promotions, or based on his or her own preference, whatever it is, buys it there, right? And then after that, once he buys that product, the chances of him buying the same brand again is very, very high. So which is why advertisers would focus more on buying and less on post-buying advertising or marketing mechanisms in traditional form of marketing. Now, what is happening today? You see that the format of linear consumer journey has broken down. Okay, we see that the consumer today is always evaluating whether the person is on awareness stage or consideration or buying or post buying. The person is always reviewing, always evaluating, always auditing. What is the consumer auditing? The consumer is auditing not just the product price or the product quality. The consumer is auditing the product experience, right? At whichever stage the person is, whether the person is using the product or not, it's evaluating the experience of the company, the brand, the product, whichever stage he or she is in, right? Second thing that we're seeing here is that the number of brands and the consideration set are often higher, right? And all of you are aware that if you had to buy a new mobile phone, what will you do? You might be aware of 5, 7 brands, but you go on social platforms and then you say, okay, hey, I want to buy a mobile phone. Please recommend me the best phones that are there in the market, and your friends start recommending you phones, and a couple of them would be brands which you were never aware of. They were not in your awareness list. And then, okay, you say, fine, I'll also consider them now. So in the consideration stage, right, which is after awareness stage, consumers are today starting to become aware or starting to discover new brands. So that's a new change that has happened in the consumer journey. Third is that the loyalty is not given. In earlier days, if people were to buy a brand, companies would assume that the person is going to buy the next one also from the same brand. Because of whatever reason, if you bought a Maruti, the next car also is an upgrade of Maruti. Because of whatever reason, believe that. But today, if the experience is not great, and I'm not talking about the product quality. Product quality should be good, and that's a given hygiene for everyone. Even if your product quality is good, but if post-purchase experience is not good enough, people are not going to return back to you. So that's a change in consumer journey that we are looking at. So what are the key learnings that we are getting here? We are seeing that marketers have not been intelligently allocating advertising or media budgets so far. Why? Because if you see any marketing budget or in general, 90% of your monies were spent either in the awareness stage, or let's say in the awareness stage and in the point of purchase stage, both put together. 90% of your media budget would be spent there. There was very little or no budget for middle of the funnel. And we are saying that today, middle of the funnel is the most influential part of this entire journey, because that's where consumer gets to discover new brands and new products. Second, that is where the consumer gets influenced. He's ready to get influenced. So if a brand can create some trust here, brands can create, instead of nonsense transactional advertising, can invest into more thought leadership and trust bearing communication, which will not add to the clutter, but will essentially be consumed by consumer because he's willing to take that consumption, take that content consumption for his or her own benefit. And that's what they should do, isn't it? So that's a gap that we see here. And this is what marketers should learn. Invest monies in the middle of the funnel and not in transactional stuff, right? So they should spend monies on creating experiences, and which are personalized experiences. You can't have one experience for everyone. And this holds so true for B2B, because B2B marketers have distinct needs and they need distinct experiences. So there is a personalization that is needed more for B2B, but definitely for B2C also, right? Second set of key learning all these observations is that, in earlier times the communication was one way. Whenever a marketer had to talk to people, they would essentially advertise, because that was the only form of communicating with audience, right? But not today. Not today. Today, marketers have ample avenues to communicate with audience. Not always transactional, not always promotional. Today, you have, apart from paid media, you also have your own media, which is your website or your blogs or your social assets that you have created, which are branded assets, but which are more on social platforms and forums, which are more neutral also, which are more engaging, which are more interactive as well. So you have own media, where you can engage audience. You have earned media where audience talks about you, right? So if you do certain things in collaboration with audience can talk about you, right? So marketers need to leverage own media and earned media, and they have to invest monies on people and skill sets so that they can create these personalized experiences. That's the solution, right? We saw the challenges, we saw the observations, and we are looking at the solutions also. Okay, so marketing essentially becomes better by leveraging digital. This is how marketing is getting transformed. In a nutshell, attention fragmentation, consumer journey transformation, and both of them can be addressed by non-transactional, personalized, and experiential content creation by marketers, right? We're going to go deeper by looking at B2B cases in our next webinar. But for now, I think the key hallmarks of digital, which are permissiveness, which is communicate with people when they have allowed you to communicate or what they have allowed you to communicate around. Okay, context. There has to be always a context that marketers should see. The context can be in the form of uh, uh, the date, time, location, etc., but also in terms of the stage of the journey that people are in. Similarly, the value and experience, that should be the focus of companies or brands when they advertise or when they create content, when they communicate with their audiences. Right? So, programmatic, of course, that has to be adopted because today it's not just not possible to manually do the media planning and targeting. Programmatic has to be involved, specifically if you would want to contextually remarket as well. Uh, Analytics and insight, you need to get into data-driven decision-making mode. A lot of time people, even in digital, do not do that, but I think uh, advertising on digital is fairly easy, but analyzing and having a data driven culture is very difficult. uh, and that's what agencies or marketing people will charge a premium for in future. So data analytics very important, and be scalable. Start with narrowcast, go to broadcast, but it depends on where you would want to narrowcast, where you would want to broadcast. Okay, so I'm going to end this with a small video. Let's watch this. Let's see how some brands are creating experiences at different stages of journey of consumers. It's very interesting videos. Watch it. No time for anything when you're laughing along with me. You be by my side and we're burning.
yeah, I need to do the shopping.
Welcome, Anne. What do you need?
Hi, Super. I need some pasta. Let's see then. Ah, there it is. Whoops, I almost forgot. Lucy, who's gluten intolerant, is also going to be there tonight. Show me just the gluten-free products, please.
Anne, I have activated the gluten filter for this shelf.
There it is. Hillary's favorite. Well done, Super. Got it. Good. That should be it.
What time will you be home in the afternoon?
After 5 p.m.
Perfect. Enjoy your supper.
Thanks, Super. See you next time. Maybe I'll invite you.
Great. So interesting video about how marketers are, and in future how they can attract people in various stages of journey by doing a more contextual and experience driven communication. So that's all for now. I'm ready to take on questions and look forward to the next in the series of webinars around the B2B transformation of marketing as well. Right. Thank you very much.